Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. This time, I am going to be dabbling into Fresh TV's original TV series, Total Drama. Now, some of you may know me from my previous YouTube channel, Total Drama Fern, in where I covered the series in bulk. But this time, it's gonna be a little different. I'm starting a new series that's gonna be ranking my top 5 favorite challenges from each season. So going into chronological order, it makes sense that we'll start off with Total Drama Island, the very beginning of the show. Now, to be quite honest, I had quite the hard time picking and choosing which 5 challenges I wanted to talk about here today. But I think the ones I have settled on are bangers, so before I begin the ranking, feel free to let me know in the comments what your favorite Total Drama Island challenge is and why. I would love to hear your opinions. So here at number 5, this is gonna sound very basic, but it's the very first challenge, the cliff dive. Contestants in this episode were tasked to jump off a very high cliff and land directly into a safe zone indicated by floating buoys in the water. But the dangerous catch was that the waters themselves were filled with starving sharks. Now, the challenge itself wasn't anything special, but to be honest, the nostalgic value of it pretty much brought it up. I remember watching this challenge for the very first time and wondering how it was physically possible to jump that high without dying or being severely injured. I think some of the highlights of this challenge, however, wasn't the challenge itself, but rather the feuds between contestants. The bickering between Lashana and Heather will forever stay a timeless, iconic moment within the Total Drama community. And who can forget the moment Owen finally jumped the cliff, which ended up winning his team the challenge despite nobody believing in him. So for nostalgia's sakes, and for the drama between the Screaming Gophers, I had to include this challenge onto the list. But now, it is time to move on to number 4. Now coming in the number 4 spot, I don't even know for sure if this can be considered an actual challenge, but it's the Camp Castaway challenge. Essentially, the island got flooded and the final 4 contestants were left to fend for themselves in the wild for the next 24 hours without Chris or Chef to host the show. I honestly really like this challenge, and I know the one in the episode right after was very similar. However, I picked this one specifically for a few reasons. 1. The campers weren't notified of the challenge even being a challenge. And 2, the fact that they all had different ideas on how to go around with surviving out alone, and also how Heather and Gwen were so gung-ho about working individually while Duncan and Owen were advocating to get through this as a team. Overall, it was exciting, well-inspired, and a very entertaining way to show and test the campers' survival skills. Now, let's rank number 3. Now, slotting into the number 3 spot, it's the Extreme Torture Challenge. In this team challenge, the Screaming Gophers and Killer Bass had to face off in individual one-on-one extreme challenges that included mud skiing, timed moose riding, and plane diving. This challenge was memorable for all the right reasons. We witnessed Trent's epic fail when failing to unleash his parachute, Chris's obvious Star Wars influenced outfit, and the oh so memorable Heather moment on that bike, which is still forever ingrained in my mind. It was very fun seeing all of the contestants have amazing wins and massive fails at the same time on whatever task they were assigned on doing, and quite frankly, I really think that this is one of the most memorable Total Drama challenges of all time, for reasons. With that being said, let's move on to number 2. So arriving in second place is the Paintball Deer Hunter Challenge. This challenge The Screaming Gophers and Killer Bass faced off in a shoot-down, with half of the players on each team forced to wear deer antlers and tails, while the other half had paintball guns and were tasked to shoot the deers on the opposing team. I actually really enjoyed the concept of this challenge. It's basically like a game of hide and seek on steroids, and it was very fun to watch. From Duncan and Owen's showdown to the cross-team shoots between Heather, Lindsay, and Beth, this challenge never strayed me away from the TV and kept me watching the entire way through. And I mean, come on. No matter how weird Cody was, and no matter how oddly he treated Gwen, seeing him get mauled by a bear while trying to hide as one of the Gopher's deers was just straight up sad. At the end of the day, I think this challenge was very well done, and while many of these challenges have either easy loopholes or glaring plot holes, this one had very few of those. Well, all that being said, it is time to reveal my all-time favorite Total Drama Island challenge. Let's get to it. There were many top contenders for the spot, but I think I'm gonna have to go with the Hook, Line, Screamer challenge. Basically, the remaining campers were unknowingly tasked to survive a masked serial killer that was apparently let loose on the island, and the last camper standing would win immunity. The plot lines were on point. From the Izzy and Owen relationship building to Gwen and Duncan scrambling to find a way to survive this as the horror movie experts were very entertaining to watch. Now, while this whole challenge didn't actually have a serial killer, and it was rather Chef in a costume, I think it's worth noting that there was indeed a real killer, though they weren't the main aspect of the challenge itself. For me, I loved the campers' reactions and the frightful moments that got DJ screaming all the way home, especially the one when Heather scared him by shaving her legs. Now, this was my top 5 favorite Total Drama Island challenges. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you would like to see more videos by me, consider subscribing. It'll mean a lot, and my goal is to get 100 subscribers before 2025. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.